What's going on, everybody? Victor here with a brand new video. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about a certain prospect that comes out of the UK. If you guys don't know him by now, his name is Paddy, the Baddie. Pimblett fights out of Liverpool, England. And before making his way into the UFC, he was already a very exciting fighter. He was already a fan favorite. He fought out of Cage Warriors, which happens to be the top promotion in the UK, and brings out the majority of the UFC prospects from the UK itself as well. And Paddy was already a double champion in Cage Warriors, and he brought in a lot of fans. He was selling out arenas, he was selling out multiple venues, and now he's inside of the UFC. But if there's one thing about Paddy Pimblett is that he doesn't have an international fan following. Obviously, he's very big in the UK, but when he gets to the US, there's not that many of us that even know who Paddy the Baddie Pimblett is to begin with. But I'm not here just to talk about Paddy Pimblett. I'm here to talk about another individual as well. And the UFC is very smart not to make this fight because they're trying to push Paddy to be an international superstar. Paddy has already talked about multiple times that he wants to be bigger than Conor McGregor. He wants to be bigger than Khabib Nurmagomedov. He wants to be the biggest cash cow that's ever come out of the UFC MMA promotion. Now, if the UFC would have made this fight, then that cash cow, that whole entire fan following, that whole entire hype train that he has behind him would have gone to smithereens right off the bat. And the reason why I say that is because there's one individual that has a bone to pick with Paddy. There was an individual that had a physical altercation with Paddy during the last UFC London card, during that whole entire fight week with the media day and a lot of other events that came with it. And I'm talking about Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is another prospect, and a very, very bright prospect. I believe is a bigger and brighter prospect than Paddy Pimblett, and a better fighter as well. Now, these two had a scuffle during the last UFC London card. It happened during the week. I believe it was during the media day. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett had a lot to say about Georgia, which happens to be the country where Ilia Topuria comes from, and mentioned the war that they had with Russia, where thousands of people lost their lives, where there was a lot of bloodshed, where people of all ages and backgrounds passed away at the hands of the Russians. And when Paddy brought that up, the majority of the Georgian fighters in the UFC came to the defense of their country. And Ilia did not let that slip up whatsoever. Paddy thought that no one was going to bring that up, but Ilia brought it back up, and he even snuck Paddy with a right hand while Paddy threw a bottle of hand sanitizer at Ilia Topuria's face. Now, Ilia Topuria went on to win this fight. Paddy went on to win his fight as well. And why didn't the UFC make this fight with the whole scuffle that went on? That was basically enough resource that they needed in order to be able to promote this fight. They could have promoted this fight in this upcoming July 23rd London, England card that they're going back to this year, and that could have been the co-main event if you think about it, behind Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. But no, it's not. The reason why the UFC isn't making this fight is because they know that Ilia Topuria is a better fighter than Paddy Pimblett. The reason why they're not making this fight happen is because they want to continue to make Paddy Pimblett become an international superstar. But the only problem that Paddy Pimblett has is that his international following isn't as huge as it is right now. They want that flamboyant attitude of his to be able to become infectious, especially when it comes to the international market that the UFC is always trying to excite, that they're always trying to make happy. And if Paddy Pimblett continues to have a lot of success, he's definitely going to end up getting more fans in America, getting more fans in South America, getting more fans in Africa, getting more fans in Asia, basically becoming an international superstar that he's always believed that he's always been. But if he would have ended up fighting Ilia Topuria, I believe that hype train would have been derailed right off the bat. And the UFC isn't going to make this fight happen anytime soon, and the reason why I say that is because they don't believe that Paddy Pimblett is ready for Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria has already had the more fights than Paddy Pimblett in the UFC. He's already had more tougher competition in the UFC, and now he's linked with the fight against Edson Barbosa, who is a former title contender in the UFC lightweight division, and now he's basically down a weight class in the UFC featherweight division where he's been fighting for a couple years now, and that's gonna be Ilia's toughest test up to date. You know, Paddy hasn't had someone like that, especially the way that he's been talking as of late, ever since he got into the UFC, saying that he'll fight anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere, and that it doesn't matter who they are, they're all gonna fall down like dominoes. You know, so obviously, Paddy Pimblett has a lot of confidence in himself, and he believes that he's gonna be champion someday. But with the basically the plethora of talent that's been thrown at him in the UFC lightweight division, that's one thing. Both these men are in two different divisions, but Ilia Topuria has already had one fight in the lightweight division. That was against Jai Herbert in the last London card, and he knocked him out. That was going up in weight, and that was a short notice fight that he took. I believe it was 2 weeks short notice he took the fight, and he ended up knocking out Jai Herbert going up a weight class, which was insane. It was a great fight while it lasted. Now, will he go back to the lightweight division again in the future? Possibly, but I believe his place is in the featherweight division, so he won't be meeting Paddy anytime soon, even if he wants to fight Paddy and go up and weight one last time in order to get that fight, but the UFC isn't going to make it. Paddy hasn't really had that much competition since coming into the UFC. He faced Osuna Vargas, and then he faced, I believe it was Luigi Vendramini was his name, I believe. I could be wrong, but Luigi Vendramini, and he was getting starched against Vendramini until he came up in that second round and was able to get the TKO finished. And then he didn't look too good against Osuna Vargas for the first couple of seconds. Obviously, he took a shot, and then the fight went to the floor. He was able to submit him, and then that was that. You know, that was that. So, is the UFC ever going to make this fight? I want to say, as of right now, no. But as these two continue to make their stars even brighter and continue to keep on going up the ladders in their respective divisions, then the UFC is eventually going to make this fight happen because it's going to sell a lot of tickets. Now, both these fighters are very big in Europe, and they're eventually going to be big worldwide as soon as they get more recognition from the international fans from the western part of the world. But for right now, they got to continue to keep on fighting, they got to continue to keep on staying alive, and they got to continue to keep on making a bigger and bigger name for themselves. I believe Ilia Topuria is doing a great job of that. If he beats Edson Barbosa, then the whole world is definitely going to know his name. If Paddy Pimblett beats Jordan Levitt, then more fans on the western side of the world is definitely going to know his name as well. Both these individuals have tough competitions coming up in the near future. I'm just going to have to see how things go from here on out. Obviously, Paddy doesn't want to mention Ilia Topuria's name whatsoever. He continues to call him the man that he hit with a hand sanitizer, and Ilia Topuria keeps on calling Paddy that blonde bitch. So obviously there's a lot of dislike between these two individuals, and if they were to fight in the future, I'd say it's probably going to take place in probably 1.5 years or 2 years, probably 2 years max. So when that fight does happen, it's going to have a lot of recognition. Both these individuals are going to be extremely well known from around the world, and the UFC are definitely going to be cashing in a lot from these two individuals moving forward, depending on how their careers go. Hopefully, it's going to be an upward trajectory, and things are going to be going good. You know, Dana White definitely wants to push these individuals, pushing Ilia Topuria a lot harder than he is with Paddy Pimblett right now. They're taking baby steps with Paddy Pimblett, but eventually Paddy's going to end up fighting more dangerous competition. If not by the end of this year, definitely by the first quarter of 2023. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys want to see this fight happen as much as me as well. So I can't wait till it actually happens, whether it's in 1.5 years or 2 years max, and we're just going to have to buckle down and be a part of this ride until these two individuals pass and careers collide, and they end up having a banger. Appreciate you guys for watching the video. Do you guys think this fight's going to happen? Let me know in the comments sections, and if it does, who would win? Take it easy, guys. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Later.